I've been procrastinating on this way too long. Welcome to the guide on how to actually make a ton of money in Forewarned. First thing you need to do is host private and don't invite anybody else because then they get loot share. Effectively, all your money is going to be divided, and either you play on Finders Keepers, in which case it gets lopsided, or you have loot split where it goes completely even. Either way, not a fun time. I do Cursed Sand Ruins because it's the easiest one and has a short distance to the entrance. Modifiers. You want it to be on medkits off. PvP doesn't matter. Blessing of Osiris. You want this off. You get 10% extra. Timed off. Loot mode doesn't matter. You shouldn't be playing with people anyway. Spirit interaction lower. We do not care about finding the Magi. But if we do find the Magi, we can get some benefits out of it. Lock chest. We do not care about banishing. So we're going to go ahead and get that nice 25% bonus. As for the starting health points, we're going to set that to 200, which is going to kind of knock us down 10%. It's going to offset with this medkits here, but that'll make it so we don't have to go out and heal, and also help us survive a lot of the things. And then also keep disarm traps off, because we're not going to let the Magi get out to begin with. Alright, next you want to buff up the difficulty all the way to brutal, which gives us another 30%. Largely, this is going to make how much damage you take from everything increase. But again, our goal is not to actually deal with the Magi, it's just to get through the tomb. And then you want to max out the size of the map as well. This actually doesn't have a multiplier to it, but it does increase how much you get from gold and everything else. It just doesn't tell you that. I have run this on small, and it seems like I get less from the artifacts and such. Alright, my starting inventory is torch, flashlight, skip the photo cam unless you need to level up. And then I grab tablet, radio, radar. Then I do seismometer, metal detector, Geiger counter, dynamite. The other stuff won't matter unless you actually want to get into the Magi room and grab all the gold in there. There is usually a pretty good chunk, but we'll still make so much from everything else if you don't get it by the time you loot the whole place. Don't worry about trying to get the Magi at that point. I like leaving the seismometer in the opening room. Drop the radar for echolocation to find your way back. Another factor about doing this is when you do these levers, you can activate them by yourself. Also, I'm not doing things completely optimally here. I brought Crunchy with me. If I'd thought about it, I'd have brought the bird because you get 10% movement speed, but whatever. Crunchy is my buddy, so I don't want to leave him behind anyway. Make sure you grab all the hieroglyphs and then just kind of sweep through the place, pulling all the levers and keeping mental tabs on where you are. A little trick is to hold your hand on like the right wall or the left wall and just keep going. Obviously there's some limits to that, but you'll still hit most things. Looks like this is where the treasure room is going to be, which is why I got that notification. If you're doing this in VR, you won't get notifications when you walk by the treasure room and such. It's also important to light torches as you go so you remember where you've been. Keep an eye out for runes or the hieroglyphs on these things. And then this is one of the reasons why we increased our health. Hello. No go, Scoo? Okay, cool. Screw you too. We need to set this trap off. We practically have to run right into it. Are you kidding me? Actually, it occurs to me we didn't need to do that. So if you just crouch here whenever you have these boulders, I already set it off. You can just crouch, go in close enough to grab everything with the E button, and then walk away. You don't need the chest, so... I think that's electronic disturbances, but I can't hear it from here. Oh no, it is. Cool. Alright, so one of the traps in Cursed Sand Ruins is just... Over there is one of the gold relics, and one of the traps we have here in Cursed Sand Ruins is to walk across this spike pit. Give me all kinds of evidence and I have it on low. Okay. And you basically look for the section that doesn't make noise, walk across until it does, then turn to your left and right 90 degrees, and just keep following up across as normal. Once you get to the end, hit this button. This is the rare artifact. This is the second thing we're looking for in our little run here, besides the hieroglyphs. Two spawn. One will show up somewhere else, and then the other one is in the bombable room. Let's get away from that. And effectively, when you put these back, you get more money at the end of your expedition. And it is required to get all of them to prestige, so you get the added bonus of getting progression towards that. And one thing I didn't mention is you do need to keep an eye out for the Zealots of Akar, and really more of an ear out. They'll scream and then run around, try to attack you. They're the humanoid enemies that spawn out of nowhere like ghosts with the animal faces. Now again, if you can figure out the measure, there's a lot of gold in there, otherwise don't worry about it. Alright, this is the bombable wall, and anytime you see this, obviously dynamite. And there's going to be a lot of gold and a rare artifact behind it, always. Also, it aggravates the Magi, so a lot more of the Zealots are going to start appearing once you do this. If it's towards the front of the dungeon, you can just leave it alone until you're done looting the whole thing. But in my experience, the Zealots of Akar get way more aggressive once you bomb that wall. I think I'm already almost done sweeping the place. And that is the Zealot of Akar yelling. There he is. Yeah, he couldn't get to me in time. I say I've probably already sweeped it, but probably goes a lot deeper now that there's all this dead space here, yeah. Thank you. I will also say sometimes the lever shows up in the Magi room. This is the reason why I keep both the metal detector and the Geiger. So, if the ghost can have... Alright, it's Rathos. If the ghost can have metal or radioactivity, it will always show up on this. So if you get negative radioactivity, you can actually mark that out. And if you get negative metallic, you can mark that out. And that will very often help you guess which ghost it is. And the Zealots can kill you very quickly. Just completely changing gears of thought there. They're usually the reason I die. It's just because they constantly spawn somewhere I don't expect them to be while I'm in a menu or something. And they'll take their little pot shots at me before I can swipe them, which on their own don't do that much. But over time, they do that 6 or 7 times in the round, you're dead. Probably not even 6 or 7, more like 3 or 4. Wasn't that just the Zealot of a car running there? That guy snuck right up on me. I think that's just a statue animated. Grab where the Magi door is. See, they can literally just spawn right on you and clip you like that. And that'll happen 6 or 7 times in a run, you're dead. Alright, so if you do manage to figure out the Magi by the time you're done looting the whole place, you can come in here and get more gold. Now keep in mind, you don't grab the Relic. We do not try to challenge the Magi. I mean, if you want to do it, that's up to you, but I don't waste the time doing that. We're already up to 678 as it is. Hopefully they didn't nerf it. I thought I got closer to 2,000 from these runs. Oh, it's going to pick me up and take me back to the front, even though I'm already there. Neato. Alright, so once you got 4 or hieroglyphs, you've got all of them. Once you get 2 of these, you've got all those. I've looted that place as thoroughly as humanly possible. So I'm just going to hit End Expedition. And then by the time I get back, I get 2,483 gold. And I just remembered it's because of all the multipliers we have. That the gold gets multiplied that much. So from each of those lore pages, we got 40 XP. Who cares? We got 110 gold. And from the rare artifacts, we're averaging 150. Some of them are worth more than others, and I don't know why that is. From a gameplay perspective, considering there's only 2 that spawn per round, but whatever. So yeah, in the end, you'll be able to get 2,000 gold. Be able to get a lot of XP if you need to level up. However, at the stage I'm at, levels don't really matter. And once you prestige once, levels don't matter at all. What does matter is getting through the Archeo Bay and unlocking everything. And then once you've unlocked everything, just sit there and keep accumulating money. I am going for close to like 50,000. I think that is how much it would be to just prestige and then be able to buy everything immediately again. This isn't like Phasmophobia's prestige where you're kind of stuck there having to climb through the ladder all over again every single time. You keep your gold and you have access to every upgrade in the game right from prestige, whereas Phasmophobia will just force you to grind through the entire game again. That's all for this one. Happy haunting.